Lenny Scott, ex-prison officer. Worked a couple of prisons, then went to work at Old Close, Liverpool, Merseyside way. Shot dead because of that job. Shot dead 4 years later outside his gym by a lad, Elias Morgan, who 4 years early, Lenny had found a phone either in his possession, in his cell. He'd handed that phone in. He was offered a bribe, allegedly, it says, money to lose the phone. 4 years later, revenge attack, shot dead. Truly shocking. How do on this beautiful day? So Elias Morgan has been found guilty of shooting Lenny Scott for an incident in prison. Now the phone, said phone, had obviously things on it that implicated a female prison officer, a lass. She was in a relationship allegedly with Elias Morgan. She was bubbled because of the finding of that phone. You're just doing your job. Doing your job. He was concerned at the time. Lenny, information regarding his family was presented to him. The prison moved him wings, so he was no longer working on the same wing. Truly scary, that. Left the job a year later, was sacked over an incident not related, and at the time of his death was working in a warehouse. A working man with 3 kids, a family. God bless them. Truly shocking. The outcome, sentencing, yet to be decided. Now I think most people, that's ex-prisoners, staff, people maybe who know nothing about prison, will think that's excessive, that. You know, that is something 4 years later to take someone's life for taking a phone off you. Me, phones have always been an issue. With modern technology, we can't block signals, make mobile phones ineffective. Absolute bullshit. Just think about technology we have today. Eh? What a nightmare. A small percentage of people will say it's karma. You're always going to get them, aren't you? But let's look at it, shall we? I had an interesting conversation with a good friend about prisoners and staff. Prisoners, forgiving prisoners for what they've done. You know, there are some victims who do that. I think a lot of us find that understand, you know, but it's like living with a life full of hate, resentment, or you try and put it to bed. Prisoners, the title suggests they've been punished for their crimes. Admittedly, in some cases, not enough, we know that. The rope wouldn't be good enough for me. But then it got on to staff, prison staff. Surely, Sam, if you're going to forgive prisoners for their crimes, you have to forgive staff. Let's have a bit of Brian while he's going crazy. So I said to her, the problem with prison staff is, firstly, some people believe they've done no wrong, taking the law into their own hands, that they are above the law, and very few prison staff are being punished for ritual beatings of prisoners and the like. That's never going to go away. Racism and the like, that's never going away. So my friend said, I'd never thought of that. There is prison officers, karma has visited them outside the prison, at their home addresses. These people, again, who work in prison, will think it's absolutely outrageous I'm saying this, but they have had a career of bullying people. Bullying people. Some people can't fight their own battles. Some people are nobodies. But now and again, He might have bullied the wrong person. I've seen staff do that. Square up to someone not knowing who they're squaring up to. You know, some big head in Salford. Probably give them a good kicking or something similar. But not take it outside the prison. That's next level. But believe me, there have been staff who have spent a career bullying people, stitching people up. They were well known. I'm not talking about fighters. I'm not talking about a prison officer who can handle himself. And there weren't many who'll go in a cell one-on-one. No one's looking for revenge for that. What are your thoughts on that? Again, these prison officers now, probably my friends, will be shaking their head that I'm saying things like this. Need to wake up and smell the roses. What happens in prison stays in prison. I got told that a few times as well. You're not above the law. What could they have done to keep Lenny safe? Maybe shipped him out. How about shipping the prisoner out? That might have de-escalated it. Might have made it worse. Might just be that prisoner is one of them people, you know, maybe less than 1% of the population where something bad was always going to happen. Tell you a story on a lighter note. We had a prisoner down to segregation at Forest Bank. Big lad, could handle himself. On camera, 3 lads had attacked him. Banjoed all 3. One of them was moved to another wing. One of them was in hospital. And one was in the healthcare at Forest Bank. He got punished for that. Excessive force, maybe. Being able to handle himself. Like I say, he was ambushed by these lads. So the house block manager, residential manager, short ass, big chip on his shoulder. Apparently a black belt at karate. With his size, it meant nothing. Ex-hairdresser, that's where he'd come from. I ain't got a problem with that. However, he did have little man syndrome. So he's talking to said lad in segregation at the door. Talking down to him. Well, talking up to him. He was a proper short ass. Yeah? When he'd finished, he said, have you got anything to say? The lad says, yes. Fuck off. I'll give you a call when I want to trim. Being an ex-hairdresser. 2 hours later, that lad was ghosted out of prison. Somewhere down south. Such was the power of the residential manager, and he couldn't take, you know, someone putting him in his place. Same manager, a good lass, really good lass, officer, on D-wing, the induction wing. Prisoner turns up, who has burgled her house. Wrecked, trashed her house. She goes to said manager, and this is what he told her. If you're not happy about him being on your wing, you can go and work on another wing. Yeah? Or you can take unpaid leave. But I'm not moving him. He had the power. Send that prisoner to Strangeways from Forest Bank. 1 for 1. It'd have been no bother. Put him on another wing, even, at least. But no. Just come back at her. Little short-arsed hairdresser with a chip on his shoulder. Thanks for your continued support. God bless you all. Fantastic community. Support each other. Just amazing. Me, Brian, the family, wishing you all the very best. Thanks for coming. I'll see thee.